What is Vladimir Putin trying to accomplish in this brutal and unwarranted invasion? Can you give us an update?
Yes. Vladimir Putin's dream of reforming the USSR is becoming a reality. The Russian invasion of Ukraine may well be the day that historians look back and declare that this was the birth of World War III. History is repeating itself. Putin is doing exactly what Hitler did to get World War II started. Hitler declared to European leaders his need to invade Poland because Germany needed the territory for the expansion of Germany. Europe, under the leadership of England's very weak Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, bowed to Hitler's demands. Shortly thereafter, World War II began, where 50 million people were killed and 6 million Jews were systematically slaughtered. When Putin, the former KGB officer, the master of deception, looks at President Joe Biden, he sees Neville Chamberlain, weakness personified. Winston Churchill shouted into the faces of the British leadership when they demanded that he negotiate with Hitler, words that America should remember right now. Winston Churchill said, "You can't negotiate with a lion with your head in its mouth." End of statement. Russia and China are united in their efforts to destroy America. The American people must recognize this. China is watching America's pathetic president make loud proclamations without action. He knows President Biden and his sons are on China's payroll. China is watching this parade of weakness. China will soon capture Taiwan, where 65% of all chips are manufactured for automobiles and high-tech electronics. China will then control the automobile production in America and around the world. When Russia succeeds in having its way with the Ukraine, Iran will have the green light to produce a nuclear bomb. And therein comes in Israel. Iran is under the control of radical Islam, who will use a nuclear bomb to attack Israel and the United States. 9/11 proved America can be attacked by foreign powers with devastating effect. A nuclear weapon is far more deadly than an airplane loaded with fuel. Russia's military has been in the Middle East since 2015. Russia controls Iran, and Iran trains, equips, and funds the terrorist armies of Hamas and Hezbollah that live on the borders of Israel, and they're begging for the attempt to attack Israel. The people of America, listen to this. Our nation is in a severe crisis. We are being led by career politicians who are corrupt and making every effort to destroy the Constitution of the United States of America. Go vote these corrupt people out of office. If we do not use our freedom to defend our freedom, we will lose our freedom. God bless you.
So, Pastor Hagee, we know that Russia, of course, has a military presence in the Middle East, and of course, that since September of 2015. So for our audience that's watching today, since we're talking about Israel, where in Bible prophecy do Russia and Israel meet, and where are we today in Bible prophecy concerning war in the Middle East?
Where are we in Bible prophecy? We are in Ezekiel chapters 38 and 39. The prophet Ezekiel presents the first Gog-Magog war as being between Russia and Israel in the near future. According to Ezekiel, Russia will organize a massive land invasion of Israel, bringing with her the armies of Persia, which is Iran. Togarmah is Turkey. Syria is still Syria. Ethiopia is the Sudan, and Gomer is Germany. For those of you who are hearing this, please know that Ezekiel wrote this 3,000 years ago, and it is exactly happening now for the first time in human history. Remember that Russia and Germany are in business together via the Nord Stream natural gas pipeline that runs from Russia to Germany under the Baltic Sea. What will happen in the Gog-Magog battle? A massive military armada is coming toward Israel, and it's going to look so overwhelming that people will say Israel is lost. But there is in the Bible this verse, he that keepeth Israel, keepeth as a military term, meaning to defend. He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. There is the Genesis 12 promise, I will curse those who curse you. That's God's promise to the Israel people. God will laugh, the laughter of vengeance. That laughter of vengeance is recorded in Psalms 2. He will send an earthquake and bury alive a large portion of the Russian-led military force. And remember, God uses earthquakes as a part of his military procedure. Remember when the Israelites rejected the Ten Commandments and God just opened the ground and buried them alive. An awesome technique. Secondly, there will be destruction by friendly fire, where every man will turn their weapons on each other. You will have from 7 to 9 armies there, and they are going to turn on each other in the midst of that earthquake. Many will die from friendly fire, and the grand finale will be when God rains stones from heaven and destroys most of the remaining anti-Semitic army who have attacked Israel. The Bible fact is that in Joshua 10, God killed the enemies of Israel with hailstones in the Battle of 5 Kings. In Joshua 10:10, it reads that the stones that God sent killed more of Israel's enemy than did the swords of Israel. God's going to do it again in the Gog-Magog war. Why? So that Israel and the world will know that the God of Israel is the defender of Israel. How many are going to be killed? Ezekiel 39:2 in the King James Version reads, I will leave but a sixth part of thee. A sixth part. The translation, God is going to kill 84% of the Russian-led military force, so the world will know that the God of Israel, he is God. Those who are left will return to their nations, bearing witness that Israel and the Jewish people are indeed the apple of God's eye, and Israel is defended by God Almighty. The thing that's important to us is that this was written in Ezekiel 3,000 years ago. And for the first time in prophetic history, it is perfectly aligned for this war to begin. Afghanistan launched the courage for Russia to attack the Ukraine. This is just going to continue, and we are going to see our world be totally revolutionized in the next few months, because we in America have the weakest leadership in our history who talk about stopping aggression but do absolutely nothing to stop it.